Hello everyone, welcome back to Mad About Cards and Crafts and another crafty collaboration with my friend Cathy Arenzana. Today we are using purple onion design stamps. These are red rubber stamps. The designer is Stacy Yakula, who also designs for MFT. I absolutely love these red rubber stamps. I think they always stamp perfectly. I am going to show you the lazy girl's way of building a scene, so let's get started. I will start by using my Misti stamping tool. This is a piece of Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. It is cut to 4 by 8.5. I am making a slimline card. So here's where I use that repositionable tape. I found that this is the easiest way for me to stamp without having to mount all of these stamps, and it works perfectly. This is a sandhill. I will clean off my stamp, and now I'm going to pull out a piece of acrylic. So this is just from another stamp set. I am going to use it like I used to use my little Stamp-A-Ma-Jig back in the day before we had Misties. I will line this stamp up, but I do need to move my panel over because it's not going to fit across properly. This will not bend or hurt the panel at all. I will ink it again. I'm using Gina K Designs Jet Black Amalgam ink. And then we will begin stamping the waves. I'll use the same exact technique to do this, and it will be time for us to start coloring our scene. I am not a great Copic colorist, especially when it comes to coloring long scenes, so grasses, skies, waves, all of that. I just can't get a really smooth blend that I'm personally happy with. And so this was an easier approach for me to take, and I think that it came out just as beautifully as some of the best Copic colored backgrounds, only because, well, I shouldn't say the best because I've just seen some really spectacular backgrounds, but you know, some of the nicer backgrounds, I think this one works just as well, and that's why I am calling it the Lazy Girl's Guide, because I am not going to do any masking. I am simply going to be laying down color, and it will look like a hot mess and be pretty blotchy, but in the end I think that it looks fantastic. I am taking a blender brush from Amazon. These are, I think I got like a set of 4 or 5 of them for like $12, and I am going to lightly lay some color in. I do know that I want a higher concentration that I'm getting with this brush, and I need to get in a little bit more into some of these smaller spaces. So I will come in with my little sponge dauber, and I'll start putting the ink down. Now the ink is looking really heavy, but you got to remember that the ocean is going to have dark color and it's going to have light color, and so I am just not worrying about the concentration. I will come in and I will fix some of that and smooth some of that out. I'm just trying to get the color down. Once I get this color down, I'm going to come in with Tumbled Glass and we'll begin working on the sky. I do use the same sponge dauber. Now I got a little bit of that blue on that sky, and I tried to use my Tombow eraser, which I know better, and I just went ahead and tried to erase it anyway, and you see I got that big splotch in the center of my sky. I will come in with my MFT cloud stencil and make some clouds across the sky, which will also help blend all of that color out and create a lot of interest. I used the same Tumbled Glass. Now I'm using the tea dye and the sponge dauber, and I am just laying down some color. I will use tea dye and I'll use Vintage Photo to create the texture in the sand. So I'm just using those post-it notes to keep my fingers off of the panel. I'm doing just a little bit of dabbing and circular motion to get some texture, and then I'm going to move back to those waves, and here's where I start smoothing out the color. So I just take the ink off of parts, the heavier parts of that ocean, and I'm going to use water and my silver brush to smooth things out. Again, it's going to be lighter at the top where the waves are hitting the sun, and then it's also going to be lighter at the bottom where I'm going to add some more foam where the waves are crashing into that sand pile. So it smooths it out. It was no effort. I like it much better than I would have liked my Copic coloring. Do you like scene building? Do you have an approach that you like to take? Do you prefer Copic coloring or ink blending? Let me know in the description box below. What is your favorite way to color the background of a scene? Now here I'm taking all of my little pieces and elements that I'm going to be using in my design, and I am going to put that repositionable tape over the back of it. I'm going to take the Gina K Designs Jet Black Amalgam ink. I will not share my ink coloring or my Copic coloring today because that was not what I wanted to feature, and this would be a very long video if I did so. So I'm just cleaning off my stamps. I have one little tiny mouse. That little bear is called Sandy Bear, and the little mouse that I am stamping is called Shelly Mouse. They are both absolutely adorable critters. You'll see when I start putting my card together that I did make a mistake with my palm tree. I get a large blob of Copic coloring, so I will recut that one out and recolor it because I did forget to take both cap ends off, and it just dropped a bunch of color onto that. Here I'm using a Uniball Signo pen, and I am going to just create some foam for my waves, because you do know that when you're at the beach and the waves are coming in, there is a little bit of white in that particular wave. So I am just dotting. I'm trying not to do, there's a couple of solid lines that I put in, but off camera I do go back and do more of the dotting motion so that it looks a little bit more like foam, and that also is going to detract from any blotches that you might still see. So the scene is starting to come together, but I do need to add more texture to my sand because obviously I'm not just going to leave it that one color. And I am taking this makeup brush that is also from Amazon, and I am just tapping on some additional color using that vintage photo. Again, it still looks like a hot mess. Have no fear, we are going to come in and add more interest. This is the tea dye again. I am just bringing some of that in to blend some of that color out, and then I will also come in with my distress spray bottle. I'll cover up most of the ocean and the sky, and I will use that water to again get some more texture on my paper. So I will splatter that, and then I'll come back in with a vintage photo. I will lay it down on my mat, spray some water, and then I will flick some more color onto that panel. I will glue this to a piece of Neenah Solar White 110-pound cardstock, so that's going to be my base, and then we will start building our scene. I will lay all of my little pieces out before I adhere anything down. I do use art glitter glue to adhere my pieces down. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this collaboration. This is something that Cathy and I do each month. I would encourage you to, after you're finished watching on my channel, to head over to Cathy's channel. She is an awesome creator. I am excited to see what she creates this month, and I hope that you enjoy watching her video as well. If you haven't subscribed to her channel, or mine for that matter, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you are notified when a new video goes up, and leave a comment in the box below and hit the like button. That really helps us a lot. We are trying to get our videos out so that more people know who we are and are able to watch. So we really encourage you to do those things. I will put all of the products that I used in the description box below so that you can find everything that I have used on this card. You did see that I put a little slit into my waves and I tucked my beach ball in there, and that was to help disguise that eraser mark that was in the sky. Now I am just putting my pieces together, and I will use that art glitter glue to glue everything down. I didn't use any dimensional foam. I try not to use it very often with my slimline cards, especially with the scene building, so this is all laid flat to that panel. You see the white under that chair. When you cut it out with the scan and cut, it didn't cut that section out, and I'm not worried about that because I am going to come in with a Dove blender pen and fix that. So you see my palm tree is perfect. I don't have any blops on it. Here's where I use that Dove blender pen. I just put it into my tea dye ink and color it, and voila! That chair blends perfectly. Now it's time to put my sentiment on. Again, I'm using that piece of acetate, and that will be my card for today. I want to thank you so much for following Cathy and I. We just really appreciate your support and love that you join us each month for these videos. I'm going to show you a close-up of it and a couple videos at the end that may be of interest to you. Have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for watching.